Hey guys, so welcome to the second lecture for ratios and proportions. Okay, if the rate at which a water tank is being filled is 12 liters per minute, then how long will it take to fill a 1500 liter water tank? B, how much water will be filled after 15 minutes? Okay, so let's again write out this information. So we have liters can be L, just to make it a little bit simple, and then minutes can be M. Okay, so as it says, the number of liters is actually proportional. Well, it doesn't actually explicitly tell us, but we can see that the number of liters is actually proportional to the number of minutes. So as minutes go up, so does the number of liters. Okay, now this can easily be represented as L equals Cm, where C is simply the constant of proportionality, which is something that we went through in the previous lecture. Okay, so L equals Cm. What we now need to do is figure out what that constant of proportionality is, using some of the figures that they've already given us. So it says the water is being filled at 12 liters per minute. So 12 is equal to C times 1, because I've simply replaced M with a 1 and L with a 12. Therefore, C is equal to 12. So the formula that we're working with is L equals 12M. Okay. How long will it take to fill a 1500 liter water tank? So 1500 liters being replaced where the L is equal to 12M. Now taking the 12 to the other side as a division, so we have M equals 1500 over 12, which gives me a value of 125. So the question asks, how long will it take to fill a 1500 liter water tank? It would take 125 minutes. Okay, part B says, how much water will be filled after 15 minutes? So part B, so again we have L equals 12M. So what this is basically telling us, guys, is that for every 1 minute of time, 12 liters of water is being filled, and which is obviously being given by this particular statement here. So 12 times the number of minutes will be equaling to the number of liters. Okay, so how much water will be filled after 15 minutes? All we have to do is simply replace the M with a 15. So that would get us L is equal to 12 times 15, which is equal to 180 liters. So how much water will be filled after 15 minutes? That would be 180 liters. Moving to the next question. So this question says, there are 600 students in a school. If the ratios of boys to girls in the school is 3 to 5, how many girls are there in the school? Okay, a fairly straightforward question. So the ratio that's been given to us is 3 to 5, which is 3 for boys and 5 is for the girls. So what does this mean? So let's find the total part. So we have 3 plus 5, which is equal to 8. What this is basically telling me is for the number of boys, there are, for the number of boys, there are 3 out of every 8 are boys. Of the total of 600 will tell me the number of boys. However, the question asks for how many girls are there in the school. So for the girls, all we have to do is, again, same thing. 5 out of every 8 kids, every student, is girls. So of the total of 600. So we have 5 over 8 times 600. Now 8 goes into 8 once, 8 goes into 600 75 times. So we're left with 5 times 75, which gives us 375. So how many girls are there in the school? Therefore, there are 375 girls in the school. Easy. Let's move to the next question now. Okay, so this question says, the perimeter of a rectangle is 280 meters. Now, if the ratio of its length to width is 5 to 2, what is the area of the rectangle? Okay, so this is a bit of an interesting question. So we have a rectangle which has a perimeter of 280 meters. So let's call that length. Let's call that width. Let's call that length, and let's call that width. So we know that the length, the perimeter, is simply the two lengths plus the two widths, and in this case, it's 280. Now, the ratio that they've given us is 5 to 2, where the length is 5 and the width is 2. So the total number of parts for this is 5 plus 2 equals 7. So what is this telling me? So we have the length. So out of every 7 meters of the perimeter, 5 of it belongs to the length. So 5 out of 7 for the perimeter is length. So 5 out of 7 of the perimeter of 280 will give me the length, or the total length within that rectangle. So we have 5 over 7 times 280. 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 280 40 times. 40 times 5 is 200. So the length in this case is actually 100 meters. Because remember, guys, what we just found is actually 2L. So 2L is equal to 200. So L is equal to 200 divided by 2, which is 100 meters. Okay, now doing the same thing for width. We have 2 out of 7 times 280. 7 goes into 7 once, 7 goes into 280 40 times. 40 times 2 is 80. Now again, guys, this constitutes of 2W. So 2W is equal to 80. However, W in this case is simply 40 meters. So since the length is 100 meters and the width is 40 meters, the area, as we know, is simply length times width, which is 100 times 40, which gives me 4,000 meters squared. What is the area of the rectangle? The area of the rectangle is 4,000 meters squared. So guys, that brings us to the end of the second lecture for ratios and proportions. I really hope that was helpful. We went through a little bit more of constant of proportionality, as well as a few traditional ratio type questions. So I hope it was helpful. Make sure you have a go at the worksheets, and I will see you in the next lecture. Thanks, guys.